Okay, so we got our first email. All right.
Oh boy.
And yeah.
It's the way you're saying it, sir.
Yeah, I know.
We
And it's the
got
way
our first email. Like,
it's the way
hey,
yeah.
Rich, good morning. How's it going? Guess what? We got our first email, but
Yeah.
what you just did.
Yeah. Well, you got me. That's it. All right, that's the deal. You're your co-host, right, for another episode. All right. So the
God.
deal is in the email, I think that you need to answer emails from now on. All right. Why are you slurping your coffee in front of the microphone?
This is a really good mic. We're in studio, guys. Mic's lit up. It's a Shure mic.
Yeah.
And God, you caught me slurping
Yeah.
my coffee.
Yeah, slurping. Right.
Okay.
All right. So I think you should answer all the emails. This one was complimentary. There were some, there were some compliments in there for sure. There were some suggestions regarding maybe we should be in the same studio. And I'm just going to clean this up a little bit for you so that every time you interrupt me, I can backhand you. Now, that's not me. And I'm cleaning it up, or I'm just cleaning it up. And for some reason, he seems to think that your initials are MF. If you understand what I'm saying. So it wasn't horrible. This is, sounds like a good podcast. It's a good podcast. But it came from a guy. No, hang on. It came from a guy that I knew from Lompoc that I don't think you knew. All right. So I'm guessing he's out. I don't think they let him send emails from that, but I'm just saying we got our first email, and I would recommend that in the future you be the one to respond to it. Now, what are your thoughts, Richard?
He only knows me as MFer. Is that what he referred to me as several times over, it sounds like?
Somewhat. All right. But the good news is, hey, we got our first email. Don't slurp. We got our first email, which is nice. All right. So that's good. I'll let you know. I'm just going to turn it over to you. For those of you who would like to get in touch with us, it's the Novaturients podcast at gmail.com. All right. There you go. So that's it. And why don't we move on to other subjects? Something more uplifting at this point. All right. Are you ready to do that? Or do you still need to talk about the email?
But, you had asked pre-show how the video's gone viral, right? I don't think we expected that. Or did we? From you launch it out there in social media, or actually in this case, YouTube, and people are just picking up on it. It's word of mouth. It's just spreading like wildfire. I do live in California, so I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But comments, there were a couple, and I couldn't think of them, but there were a couple through text. Pretty good, it looks interesting. I think people are fascinated with this polarized look between the host and our demeanor, kind of like The Odd Couple, if anybody remembers that. Oscar Madison, Felix Unger. I feel like Felix Unger right now with the vest and shirt on. By the way, Mike, you really look cool today. I love this vivid blue you have on. Nice shirt, button shirt, but the buttons aren't in use.
No, I'm not going to button the shirt. I've got an interview afterwards. After the show, I got to interview a student for grad school. Wants to get into grad school, so I had to put on a shirt that had sleeves.
Sleeves and a collar, right? They always say collared shirt.
Yeah, exactly. So this has no sleeves, and this one does. So I said, all right, we'll just put this on. It's in the rotation. What are you going to do?
Anyways, the comments really aren't about our dressing. It's more or less about you and about me. That email sounded like he was pretty irate a little bit. And is there a reison why? All of a sudden off the first email why you want me to all of a sudden handle all the emails from here on out?
It's too much pressure for me. I just can't handle it.
Dude, you gave me a 3 to 4 year timetable
You're
to
the
answer.
you're the politician in answering stuff. I don't do that well. All right, so let's move on. Very good answer. Very good. Very fascinating. Good discussion. I need to give a crypto warning to the people who are listening.
Uh-oh.
At some point, we're going to talk about what Richard's doing now. All right, and when he's going to be talking a little bit, we've already discussed this, about cryptocurrency, which to me, I have no idea what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't care.
Sign language.
But it's something that Richard does and has written a movie and that sort of thing. So he'll explain all of that to you. But I promise you, he will not geek out on trying to explain what cryptocurrency is, because I discovered a new feature on the little website thing that we're using here, and I can actually mute the guest just like that. See the little thing? That's just brilliant. So if he starts geeking out, don't worry, I'll mute him and we'll tell you another amusing story from prison, I'm sure. So let's begin talking about popcorn.
Okay.
When you went to a movie last night,
off yesterday.
When it wasn't yesterday, it was last episode. Never let them know we're recording several. All right, so you went to a movie last night, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, what movie?
In real time last night, yes. I saw Mission Impossible last night.
Okay, did you have popcorn?
The new one. Yes, I did.
Okay. Did it bring back any vivid prison memories for you? Don't slurp. You slurped.
Every time I have popcorn.
It delights
Not
me.
every
It
time
just delights me that you flash back to that for some. See, I'm smiling. I'm actually smiling when I think about this story. Tell them what happened to you in prison with popcorn.
Well, for some reason, it's fascinating to you. It's a kind of a quirky, weird thing that, we're talking about camp and tough guys and stuff yesterday. Federal prison camp
on the last
which
episode.
Is minimum custody on camp. And you can elaborate here where I'm going. I thought it was weird. You and I, remember, I said I get there a year and a half ahead of you. And I'm getting chills just thinking about this. I'm remembering back, and I did say in our previous podcast that word on the yard at camp, if there is such a yard, we were waiting for you to get there because TAF was a new facility, contract facility, not part of the Bureau of Prisons, and a lot of it was populated by California federal inmates into this new place. So we all knew each other. Let me take a couple of steps back. When I got to camp, when I hit my 10-year minimum mark, when I hit the yard, and as soon as I walked out on the yard, man, there were guys ready to receive me like a homecoming. I'm like, whoa. And then they walked me straight into the chow hall or the mess hall, whatever you want, the kitchen. And they hooked me up. They knew I was coming. And I always use this phrase from the Three Stooges. We knew you were coming, so we baked you a cake. It was a classic line. Mike, they actually baked me a cake. It was chocolate with a raspberry glaze on it, and real raspberries. I mean, as you remember, and I did say in our previous podcast, self-sustaining village. We baked our own bread. You made pruno. These guys. I mean, I don't know if you remember when I was at Lompoc, there was Maldonado's meatloaf. Do you remember that?
So I'm going to mute Richard for a second here because he's obviously gotten distracted and is headed off in a direction, reminiscing now about Lompoc when we're talking about popcorn. So this is the new feature, and for those of you who'd like to have a mute button to mute Richard when he's talking sometime, just email us. We'll send you one. Continue.
Okay. So, anyways, back at the Taft camp, the tough guy stuff. Um, this popcorn incident. I'm trying to find out a starting point. I was a trustee at the camp, meaning I could leave the yard on visiting day. I'd go out to the parking lot or different areas and clean up, and people would drop off stuff for their loved ones. Nice little packages, but never any illicit contraband. It was all illegal contraband, but illicit meaning no drugs and nothing, anything that would get me in trouble as far as losing my good time. So one of these incidents involved kettle corn, microwave popcorn. I found a box, and I'm like, "Woo!" I kind of did this popcorn, cool. Orville Redenbacher's kettle corn. What the hell is this? Kettle corn. Took it, smuggled it in the way I always do. Mind you, Mike, my crime that led me there was I was a smuggler.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I got caught.
Yeah.
Well, I guess old habits die hard or something. Because I'm in this trustee position and I'm smuggling stuff again.
Yeah.
I guess that's what led to that comment that I always remembered, and we addressed it the other day, where you thought that I was going to come back.
Yep.
And that was, you're always 2 years behind me or ahead of me. So you thought that within 2 years I'd be back, and you explained why. And I guess it's the popcorn incident.
Oh, it's more than the popcorn
with this tough guy
incident,
mentality.
It's a lot more than just the popcorn. So go ahead, finish the story.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just admitted old habits die hard, Mike.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right.
Other than that, I'm a well-liked guy. Okay. But talking about tough guys wanting to be in that minimum security facility with no fence, that's what always blew my mind. And I went back to the Lompoc phase because we had a fence there, razor, double wired, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And we would walk the track, and eventually, in your mind, when we're talking about mindset and the prison experience, you become jaded by that. You don't even pay attention to the fence in my world, because you're not going anywhere. You don't think of anything else but walking the track, getting your walk in, your exercise. Okay. Here, no fence. Woo, wide open field. Do you remember the airfield where the guys would fall out of the sky with the parachutes?
Okay. Yeah. Don't make me mute you again. Get to the point of the popcorn story, because you're going to run out of time about telling them all these wonderful things you're doing now that it does not involve smuggling. All right. So finish your story, please. Don't make me mute you.
Well, anyways, the tough guy part about the popcorn. Some guys wanted to get gangster about it. I didn't realize that I took by accident, mistake. I didn't know it was for somebody. I thought somebody just left it there.
Fell out of their car. Yeah, fell out of their car. Accident.
Yeah. And out of the truck, yes, the mobsters say.
Yeah.
Anyways, there was a big stink about this. And these tough guys wanted to do something about it. And I don't know how or what, but all these shot callers got together. It was a big incident. All the people that were somebody on the yard decided to go to Brother Mike. He knows them. We'll get to the bottom of this, because if this stuff doesn't get off, they almost made it sound like a riot was going to happen over popcorn, microwave popcorn.
Kettle corn, technically. No.
Kettle corn, yeah, something you don't see in a commissary. Commissary means store, guys. We can buy stuff. So,
Yeah.
but it became a big showdown eventually, where people, all the high level or respected inmates, will say, in a prison camp, had to come together with you at the helm, trying to work this deal out, broker a deal. What are we going to do here? We're going to have peace, or we're going to have a riot at camp
At camp.
over popcorn. So I don't know your end of the story, what evolved after that, but all I knew is Mike had to show up, and we had a yard meeting. In fact, I wasn't invited to this meeting. You were appointed the emissary and had to come talk to me.
And
So,
and did anything happen to you as a result of this?
no,
Was there some sort of, I want to call it was there a bunny riot at the camp? No,
there
nothing
was
happened.
something going on. I can't remember, but this seemed to have stuck with you. So please elaborate.
Every time you ask me to do something with you, I think popcorn. Is this guy going to pull a popcorn stunt? All right. And all the time we've been together, you have not pulled any popcorn stunts or anything like that. But yeah, so nothing happened. We took care of it. Everything was fine. People went on their way. Eventually it was forgotten. It was forgiven and forgotten. And so it was just taken care of. That was the deal.
Well, because somehow you were involved and you brokered a deal. Can we at least say that?
No.
Because I really don't know what happened, but nothing came of it. Yeah. But obviously you and a couple other people had brokered a peace deal over this popcorn.
No, it was taken care of. That was the deal. But I mean, the thing is, here's the real thing here, Richard, that you should always remember about camp is nobody wanted to go back behind the fence or behind the wall. Nobody wanted to go back. Okay. No one wanted to go there if they were assigned to a camp to begin with, because it's all they knew. It's all they knew was a camp. And they heard the horror stories of all the other places and what they were like and terrible things that could happen and riots. And so calmer heads prevailed. It was taken care of. All right. Good story, Richard. Thanks for sharing. Okay. So.
Well, nice, Tyler. Oh,
good job. Thank you for sharing.
Okay.
All right. So let's move on. What are you doing? Don't slurp.
Better. I purposely took a sip.
That's better. Don't slurp. They slurped. All right. So I know what you put in their head. I'm a psychology guy, right? All right. So here's the deal.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what you're doing in LA. What's the why? What are you doing? What projects have you got going on? And what are some of the difficulties you've had in getting those projects off the ground? Now, again, folks, crypto alert, cryptocurrency will be coming up in this conversation, but I promise you to keep it under control. So just talk about whatever you want.
Alert 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
My movie's about Bitcoin, guys. Okay. Cryptocurrency alert. Okay. Disaster averted, hopefully.
All right.
Interesting though. You and I have discussed this pre-show about not getting geeked out over this cryptocurrency thing. And my main drive to do a movie was to explain the relevance of cryptocurrency, namely Bitcoin, to the mass public in a film. I don't know. We just came up with this idea. Do a story, have some A-list actor talent. By the way, relevant news today, they're on strike. Okay. So we got the writers on strike and actors on strike now. So now my movie's going to be further delayed. Not that I'm a studio or something, but the actors that are union, which are mainly most of them, anyone from higher level to low level, is going to affect my selection on this movie. So that's something I just realized this morning when I heard the news.
Bad news.
So the writer thing is my story was written 4 years ago. And again, about Bitcoin, when I came involved in it in 2017, became kind of, went from novice to underground in about 4 months. from April to August of 2017. In August 2017, I just started blurbing about Bitcoin on social media, amassed like 5 million following through different uh, mediums in the social media. I mean, I did all the math. 5 million social media footprint, outreach of just this crypto thing. It was hot, but only hot to those that understood, or or people that did not understand, but were getting involved in the hype of what we call 10xing, 10 times your value, 100x, 1000%, earning money and profits off of this crypto
Okay,
because
great.
it's
Fascinating.
surging.
Excellent. Excellent. Fascinating stuff. What's your movie about?
My movie's about that Bitcoin. So I saw
About,
the fascination in that
is it documentary?
cryptocurrency.
No, is it a,
No, that's amazing. Everybody thinks I'm putting together a documentary. Anyways, it's a movie, and it's got a huge budget, $50 million budget. So I did go to the movies last night. I saw Mission Impossible. By the way, oh my gosh, phenomenal movie, very good. But I was floored because of the for that movie was very relevant to me. But it's the new the more and more I view newer movies coming out, the topic is cryptocurrency. So in this movie, I noticed that they talk about Bitcoin. Well, they don't mention Bitcoin.
huh,
They mention just cryptocurrency and wallets. So the first roundabout on introduction of crypto involves $4 million in crypto on a hard drive, a wallet, digital wallet, and then a final transaction of 100 million in cryptocurrency on
right,
blockchain. That's all you see.
good.
So again, very relevant. A spy movie about crypto. There are so many similarities about my movie and this Mission Impossible. People want to know why the name of my movie, and I always said because it's worth a king's ransom. They used that damn line in Mission Impossible last night. It's worth a king's ransom. Like, so all of this I'm taking as validation, confirmation I'm on the right track. But you're talking about a topic that people don't know, but Hollywood's slowly introducing it, spoon feeding it to the public.
Okay.
That's my point here.
That's
All
good.
right. So
Very good.
on the way, I got this. Wait, what you're doing right now? This, yeah. Heard enough. So my frustration is number one, the cryptocurrency community. They're my worst critics. You thought that since I'm family, I'm talking about Bitcoin, that they would embrace this movie and this whole project, but no. Hence the reason why we're doing this podcast to talk about my space in this, what the movie's going to do, and basically we're doing a docuseries, folks. Um, and this show will cover all that background to hopefully spoon feed people into really what I'm doing. So I see how you're trying to guide. Make sure we stay on topic, and not get too geeky. Oh, where's your
No, no,
bell, by the way?
no. Cynthia said that's it was. I was being rude. I'm being rude. So, okay. So
Okay,
let's get back to this now. So we got,
help get me back on track. Yeah.
all right. Yeah, I got to understand. Your movie is about cryptocurrency. It's called what? What's your movie called?
Crypto Kings.
Crypto
Crypto
Kings.
Kings.
Right. Okay. Brilliant. And
Plural.
so,
Yes.
yeah, Kings. And so, can you tell me what the plot is?
Okay. So again, Mission Impossible. My movie's about a source code, and that source code is in the Bitcoin. Apparently, there's 1 million Bitcoin stashed on the internet that Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin, left, and we could see this on the internet. If people know how to look up blockchain stuff, which is just the internet Web 3, it's just another rail of internet. There's a 1 million Bitcoin parked there. My story talks about if somebody had access to that Bitcoin, which the real Satoshi does, and there's a source code of all of Bitcoin. Mission Impossible talks about a source code. They mention that. They mention a key to unlock certain secrets. And in my movie, we talk about a pass key or a private key, and it unlocks all the Bitcoin. It unlocks all the source of Bitcoin. And try not to get geeky about this, but it's real basic. So what I've dubbed in this movie, I got three stars in it. The main star that shows Bitcoin. Second star is the creator of Bitcoin and the manhunt. And that's what Mission Impossible said about Tom Cruise's character. Well, what if I have this key? What's going to happen? The whole world's going to come after you. Voila, that's my story written 4 years ago. The whole world converges and comes up on my guy, my main character, called a protagonist. Third star of the movies, the 1 million Bitcoin parked on the blockchain, can't hack it, can't get to it. Only one person's worthy of getting that. And that happens when my character stumbles upon its access key and therefore has the whole source code of Bitcoin. And so I can dub it the world's first treasure hunt that's in plain sight. We can all see it. No one can touch it, though.
Right.
We
Okay.
all know where it's at. Can't access it.
Excellent.
So that's
excellent. That sounds like interesting. I'm not really into Mission Impossible or those types of movies. I'm still waiting to see Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I want to go see that. But
you haven't even seen that yet?
I don't remember the last time.
You know what? Waiting to see. You're waiting for it to download. Yeah. You don't go to the theaters. You don't like crowds. I get it.
I'm not trying to go into a theater with people and stuff. No, I have my own food, all that kind of stuff. I'll deal with it. All right, so let's talk about me.
Stupid stuff that.
Stupid stuff. What?
That people have told me. I got one friend in particular. Number one, I asked him to read my script, and this guy's an avid book reader, Mike. He loves to read books. 6 pages into my script, he puts it down. I'm like, what? What? You know me. I don't get into movies or. I took it as a hater mentality, a hater mindset. I mean, because anyone else that's read the script, they're blown away by it. The other stupid comments I would get is, hey, want to join me in this? Help me do this. Come on, man. I'm not in the movies. I don't go to the theater. I don't watch movies. Like, you lying sack of stuff.
Yeah.
You're downloading. He's got a server that downloads movies. He loves making movies, but he would say stupid stuff to me.
Yeah.
And I was always puzzled by it, but he just represented a lot of people that just didn't want to recognize or talk about my project. Let's get back on track. What was the point again?
There was no point. Let's see if we can make a point here. You got a script. You're trying to get a movie made in Hollywood, right? And so you got to have an agent? You have to have an agent for stuff like that. And if
I wanted one.
Yeah.
No, I wanted one, but the people around me said no. I'd save your money. You don't need an agent. Not right now. So we're doing this movie away from the studios.
Right.
Independent film.
Okay, hang on. Are those people still around who told you not to get an agent?
I shouldn't realize you had an angle on this. No,
they're not around. Okay,
people have come and gone. Yeah. We've lost significant people that wanted to be part of this, but for some reason get their panties in a bunch and end up walking away.
Yeah. And so now you're trying to do it as an independent producer, right? So that means you got to get your own film crew. You got to get the actors. So you're trying to push this by yourself as an independent producer in from what I understand of Hollywood, it's regime packed. There's this regime of things that you must do, and the people who are in control, and all of this kind of stuff that doles out what people get to see on screens, right? So, is there even a chance for an independent movie to be made anymore? And by an
Oh yeah,
ex-con?
big time. Oh wow. Well, that's the thing. That's why we're putting ourselves up front like this, Mike. Ex-cons aren't that stupid and silly. Remember America's not funniest videos, but there was a series on stupid crimes or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Guys, pulling stupid stuff and getting
Let
caught
me
on
interrupt
camera.
for a second. You
But
just made me flash back, dude. What was the
okay,
fascination with the show Cops, with the people in prison? People are, from county
right,
jail,
right,
people are
yeah,
watching Cops. And for a
yeah,
moment, I thought, what are you doing?
it's
But then
ludicrous.
they
Yeah,
started pointing out, hey, I know him. I know him. That's stupid. All this, like they really knew these people, probably lying out there. But the, that is like the number one show in prison is Cops. That, and what is it? America's Got Talent? Not that. The other one, American Idol. For some reason, nobody gets to
America's
vote.
Most Wanted.
Well, there was that too, but the fascination with Cops. But anyways, you just made me flash back on that. Okay, so XCon, you have this movie. Nobody wants to do it. You're trying to take and turn it independently, go independent, and how's that going?
It's got its ups and downs, but I want people to realize that when I came into the storyline, my mentor, very significant figure in Hollywood. In fact, he's so well known that he's not well known. So because of that, he's called the unicorn of Hollywood because he doesn't exist, but he does. And so we won't mention names, but I'll mention these. Because of him, I didn't have the hard knocks knocking on doors in Hollywood because he did Platoon, Nightmare on Elm Street, which were, I just mentioned, two Johnny Depp movies that he was in. But anyways, he financed those two movies, Platoon, Nightmare on Elm Street, Rambo: First Blood. Terminator was his first movie that he did. He did The Last Emperor, Night of the Living Dead. Really some significant movies. He's won 13 Oscars. So because of his associations, just like we're on TV screen, it opened doors for me. And so in Hollywood, I'm really at the upper echelon that we talked about. They see me coming. They know who I am. They know about the project. But at the same time, I'm just getting tossed to and fro from. Well, I had a fallout with him, so I don't talk to him right now. But it was enough for me to be on my own.
Okay, I got
Mike,
you.
this happened. Wait, you're laughing because what? Let's tell. Please share with the audience here.
I think I'm
I,
one
I
of the
said
few.
something.
Yeah, I don't talk to him anymore. We had a falling out. It's like, oh, this sounds familiar. But at any rate, this falling out, unicorn's gone, all this kind of stuff. So you're now look, and let me just preface this. The reason that I find this story interesting is because when you first described what you were doing years ago to me, Don Quixote came to mind, tilting at windmills, thinking they were giants doing that, right? That's the thing that came to mind. And I figured, take a year, he'll be over it, do something else or whatever. But you never quit. That was the thing. You never quit. You never gave up. You may go person to person or group to group or whatever it may be, but you're still pushing the project, trying to get it done, right? So I was still thinking he'll get over it at some point. And then I saw a show that I'm not going to mention, but it was independently produced, and it won all these different types of awards, not in Hollywood, but pretty much everywhere else because it was never released in Hollywood. And it was, so I got to
Jamie.
thinking about you with and the people who are doing this are like millennials, right? I mean, they just didn't quit. They just keep going, keep going, keep going. And that's kind of the mentality I see with you. You're going to keep going until it gets done or you're dead. One of the two, right? I mean, that's just, because if you were going to give up, I think you would have given up by now, particularly with as many people as apparently you've burned through in trying to get this thing put together. So that's why I'm
That's why you left.
yeah, that's where it's kind of like, okay, all right, this is there's more here than just some guy with a pie in the sky dream and for an ex-con to do it, you know what I'm saying? That would make it even sweeter to kind of see this ex-con that everybody said no, you can't do it, we're not Hollywood, but okay, well, here it is, now what? So that's what I'm hoping is the outcome of this.
Well, it
And then I
is,
don't have
and
to watch the movie
Mike,
because
there's
I'm not going
just
to watch it.
come on, you're going to watch it. You're going to be at the premiere. You're going to have tickets. You're going to walk the red carpet. You're going to be in a tux.
Yeah.
Out of respect for me, okay?
No.
I know you're going to do these things just simply because I asked. Look, folks. He's not really like this. He's got a heart of gold, and he. You know
I'm
what?
an old guy.
I'm glad
I'm
you're
an old
here.
guy. I'm just here. Okay, so let's move on. That nice touching moment. All that
Well,
kind of. Let's move on.
I'm glad you're here, Mike, because you get to walk me through. There's so many things that you know that are going on here, and there's so many things that I can get off on a tangent and just go off here. But I got you here to help guide me for the audience sake of getting out the story. So you're the main host here, the interviewer. And so where are we at now? What else can I spiel?
Yeah. The thing that
about my frustrations.
The people talk about, without naming names, talk about some of the people in general that you run into when you're trying to put a project like this together in Hollywood. You know, from the studios to unions to all that kind of stuff. Talk about, I mean, we were talking about doing something in LA, doing a shoot in LA one time, and permits and licenses and this and that. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to do this in Texas. It's a whole lot easier.
That in a nutshell is true, Mike, about needing permits, even to film in public. And because of COVID, LA is trying to bring back that market. But the whole thing about this writer strike and now the actors on strike has to do with streaming and what we're doing right now on the internet. You can't control it. We talked about our podcast going viral yesterday. I just released it within 2-3 hours. It was getting views. The calculator the kept going up, and guess what? I haven't even started promoting it because apparently you didn't give me permission to do that yet. You know, to go ahead and release it. I had to release something so we can get other people opinion feedback on the sound, about your and I chemistry. Comment. Help me catch this rabbit. You asked for comments. One comment was, or 2 or 3 of them actually. Everybody's betting now if you're going to last 3 episodes.
Yeah, me too.
They were like, yeah. That's a biggie.
Yeah,
They're all betting. They're casting bets.
Well, this is number 2.
But for some odd reason, yeah, exactly. For some odd reason, it's not me anymore. Yeah, I'll turn this into a charade of whatever. People actually like you. That's what the feedback is. If you're asking, you're the one asking me for comments
on the sound, in general, on the video, on what it looks like and sounds like. You know, people are going to like me. They're not going to like me. What I know is if as many people had walked out on me as walked out on you trying to get a project done, I think I would have reacted a lot differently than you do. All right. So that's one thing I do admire. So let's talk about these guys in Hollywood. Let's talk about the people, just real quickly. What kind of a ladder do you have to climb in order to get a production done?
Okay. So again, permits and stuff, we're not even there yet. This is all in the development phase. I cannot move out of development until I get at least 1 or 2 main stars attached to the film, agreeing on paper to do the movie. Most of the time it does involve an agent if you're dealing with an A-list person. And let me just say, last name of a star.
No, don't do that.
Washington.
I don't want to get sued.
Okay. Well, there's a couple of Washingtons.
Okay,
So,
good. All right.
in order to get somebody like that, uh, basically have to deal with an agent. Agent's going to want 10% deposit. So right now, the movie's not funded yet, because the way it's set up in Hollywood, because there's so many scams about production, it's hard for somebody to lend somebody like me, especially next con when they find out $50 million.
I could see where that would be an
We're
issue.
talking
Right.
about a life changing moment. Well, that could be life changing. But one thing I've learned, and this is why we talk about the camp and no fences, because we did have people that walked off. Technically, that's what they are, but they'll be classified as an official escape
Right.
from Alcatraz. Okay, they make it a big thing, but it's
Yeah.
a walk off. It's a walk away. Um, Again, trying to stick to my point here.
The you're in development, so that's where we're at right now. You're
Yeah,
in
we're in
development.
development. Okay,
So
so
until
we're in
you
development.
get funded, until you get agents to sign people, you're stuck in
Yeah, I'm
development.
still in
Right.
development. I don't qualify for production money. There's already an approval for about 30 million, but it's coming from a bank, and the bank's got its parameters. And I was told way in the beginning, yeah, we got 30 million, we can do this for you, but we don't fund any projects that are not in production. So I have to get from development. I'm still in development until I get one or two named actors attached. Then I can go into production, pre-production, then production, start filming. Okay. From there, once we have an actor, we can determine shoot dates, from a principal photography, they call it. So until then, I'm in development. I'm trying to raise money to do a pitch deck. And this is part of the frustration, I think, that you're trying to get me to share how I was so bent out of shape days ago. And you asked me how my week went. I told you it was going rough. So it all centers over people's point of view, and I'm dealing with a lot of personalities, and it's me learning to not be taken advantage of because they find out I'm an ex-con, or sometimes in this group of people, I had I had two or three people already walk away just because they ran my name, Richard Maldonado, found out that I was an ex-con. These guys had plane tickets purchased, and they were supposed to fly to Alabama. We're going to open a studio. They're going to come in with a big digital screen, $5 million screen to add to our project, so we could start doing this virtual background. We could save money by not traveling to Singapore, Malta, and all over the world. And these guys find out something about me, some dirt, and they called up one of my producers and they said, "We're not going." They canceled the flight.
Yeah.
The deal was killed right on the spot.
Yeah. Yeah. I get you.
They judged me.
Yeah.
So come find out, long story short on this, I did a name search on me once before. There's 250 Rich Maldonados out there. Anglo-Saxon first name, Latino, Italian last name. How do you get 250 of us? In fact, there was a guy when we were at camp. There was a Rich Maldonado across the street, the higher level yard. Our mail would get crisscrossed. I'm like, whoa, there's two of us at the same facility. But
Yeah.
anyways,
Well, somebody,
so this
something
this
that.
person misjudged me. This guy apparently got convicted the year before of drug dealing and all that,
Yeah.
and he
Something
was
much
in
worse.
prison.
Right.
Yeah, and my crime was 25 years ago, 30 years ago.
Yeah. Look, and I
So,
think that's
anyways,
one of the
a
things that
misjudge,
it's just one of those things.
and
So,
they shut down the
that
project.
once you're next con, you can expect to be judged. All right. And so if you get offended by being judged, then it just means that you don't really know the facts. And I'm not suggesting you when one becomes offended who's an ex-con, just not understanding. That's the way people look at us, and
This
it's a negative thing. We brought it on ourselves. I can hear all I know. But my real question is how long you've been out. When somebody's judging, I want to know how long you've been out, right? And so I got out 6 months ago. All right, well, let's see what time does with, how it works out for you as you're out. But for somebody like you who's been out 17, 18 years, something like that, is that right?
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You'd
true.
think that
Yeah.
after a while that somebody's going to ask that, oh no, we just can't risk it. So this whole Hollywood thing, this idea has, to me, from the get-go, when you've been describing it, sounds like a setup and a scam so that only certain people can make certain movies and get the money to make this happen. So this is from my naive Southerner background, looking at things and having lived in California for 30 years. It sounds like a setup, what these guys do, and that's my point is, what chance do you have when you're not one of the
I
in
have fun.
crowd? Yeah. So you don't have a chance. So you
This
make your own.
this is what, look, very good point, folks. What Mike's bringing up, I have to deal with that. Again, I gave my pedigree as far as my introduction. I bypassed this entry level into Hollywood. I'm up here, but there's still scamming going on. And let me give you an example. Okay, I'll try not to give names.
Yeah, you better not.
But the projects are so huge. We're talking box office movies. That's who I'm dealing with. But there's still a layer of guys that think they're hot shit, and they are. But here's the thing: I was told, Rich. This is why it's really hard for me to talk about my movie, because I do get slapped down a lot.
I can imagine.
Here's one of the slap downs. Rich, you know what? In our world, what you have here is called a passion project. I already knew where they were going as soon as they said that. And they elaborate, you feel strongly about your movie, of course. And the time and time again that I talk to other people trying to raise money, I got people Rich, don't sell me. They think that they're so smart that they have it figured out. But what's unique about my movie, it's the first of many things that we're going to introduce into the industry, Hollywood, into the theaters. This whole thing about Bitcoin, a lot of people don't know. So it's the first of many. Okay. Remember, I just said the world's first treasure hunt. Okay. So there's a lot of first, but yeah. So this passion idea, yeah, Rich, we hear you. But look, in order to get to the main guy here that's really can take you somewhere with your project, another studio, you're going to need at least $600,000 deposit. Just show me the money type thing for him to even look at your script. I'm like, 600,000. I'm over here trying to raise money as it is. And then, Rich, we need to see $2 million after he reads the script and he says yes. And then we need to give him, one person, $2 million after collecting 6 from me. So that's part of the scam stuff. Again, high level people. And I'm like, I'm not going to deal with this. And I had, one of my other producer partners on the phone, and they thought it was wild that I was being screwed like that, putting the screws on getting money first, then we'll talk. I don't need that. Again, this movie's very significant. I do know significant players, but I got to go at it my own. And in the meanwhile, I just have a heck of a tough time dealing with financing this.
All right, we're just about at the end of our time.
I don't give up.
No, you don't give up. We're almost at the end of our time. So so that we don't end on a depressing note, we did get an email this week about the show, so that's good. That's a positive indicator, isn't it? That we got an email.
An MFing email. Okay.
I don't know what viral means, so please don't try to explain it to me. I'm still trying to just all the crypto things. So I don't know what that means. You seem to be happy about that, and you're thinking it's good. So that's excellent. So what do you want to talk about on our final show next week? The third and final
Oh,
episode.
the one you're going to bow out on?
Yeah.
You're already thinking ahead?
That's the kind of guy I am.
I know.
We'll talk
That's why.
We'll talk about the chapel at Lompoc. Oh, yes. We will talk about that next week or whenever this comes out. These time differences drive me mad. But for now, we're going to wrap things up with this positive note on getting an email, which is good. I've had an idea for for our season finale. Is that what they call it when you're done? Season finale.
Mike, again, here's me. I'm going to be persistent and optimistic on this don't give up attitude. Please don't give up. Okay.
Oh, no. Come on. I never give up. I do quit.
So I need you to script out whatever it is you do on your end in Texas. Well, I'm here in California. So no, you're not in slapping distance, but no. Here's the thing.
It's going to be fun.
I need you to pin out the next episode or two because of the viral thing. Let me elaborate on this viral. Again, that makes us stand out is, we got to get past this just talking about prison, but it's our experiences, to me, that make us better on how to deal with these ups and downs, this tenacious attitude I have, don't give up. I know I got a great project. It's going viral. It's going viral. Why? Because there's some popular hashtags that I'm using, and we are generating our own content here. We are talking about my own crypto, my own movie, our own prison experiences. So we got to continue with this, Mike. We're on to something.
Right.
So please don't pin out. What is it? Penultimate? Your last episode thing? Yeah.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to wrap this episode up. I'll tell you what. I'll stay if we get 50,000 likes. How's that?
Okay.
All right. There you go. 50,000 likes for this episode.
Okay.
Yeah. 50,000. All right. So
please the deal. Save my butt here.
Yeah. No, I got somebody we can call in to replace you. I got the guy's email. The email, I got his phone number. And he's in California. So it'd be a great addition. Anyway, that's it for now for the Novaturients. If you want to contact us, you can call or not call. Don't ever call me. You can email us at the Novaturientspodcast@gmail.com. The Novaturientspodcast@gmail.com. Make sure it's plural, Novaturients. All right. Okay, I'm done. I have all these important things to do. Any last words?
Mike, you always have something important to do, which is good. I like that we got to stay on track here. We got to stay focused.
Yep.
And folks, we got to make sure Mike still sticks with the show. So please comment, write in, subscribe, and like, all that stuff.
Whatever.
There.
Okay, bye.
There we go. Bye.